All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into one single powerful idea. And I mean, this thing could totally change how you see, well, everything. Your emotions, your health, even what it means to be you.
I mean, think about it. Why do we get sick? How do we heal? What if the answer to both is actually the same hidden code? We're going to explore how this one single idea ties together things that seem totally unrelated, like why different kinds of therapy work, where your feelings actually come from, and yeah, even aging itself.
Okay, so let's start at the top, right? The control center, your brain. We're about to pull back the curtain on its core operating system. And let me tell you, it is probably not what you learned in biology class. So, to get our heads around this, let's start with a puzzle from psychology. You've got two completely different kinds of therapy. On one side, you have exposure therapy. You're scared of spiders? Okay, we're going to look at spiders. It's direct, it's confrontational. But then, on the other side, you have something like emotionally focused therapy. This is where you dig deep into your core beliefs, stuff like, am I lovable with a partner? These two approaches could not be more different. And yet, they both work. They get comparable results for things like depression. So what gives? How can two opposite methods both be right?
Well, the answer, it turns out, lies in this game-changing idea called predictive processing. And the core concept is actually pretty simple, but it's profound. Your brain isn't just sitting there, passively taking in the world like a camera. No way. It's an active, forward-looking prediction machine. Its main job, 24/7, is to guess what's coming next. It absolutely hates being surprised.
And it does this with a simple, constant, three-step loop. It's happening right now, in your head. First, your brain predicts. It makes a guess about what you're about to see, hear, or feel. Then, it compares that guess to what actually happens. Any mismatch, that's a prediction error. Finally, and this is the crucial part, it uses that error signal to update its internal map of the world. So predict, error, update. Predict, error, update. That little loop right there, that's the engine for all learning.
Okay, so that's how we learn. But this is where it gets really interesting, because that prediction engine, it's not just for figuring out the outside world. It's the very source of our inner world, our emotions. And this leads to a pretty stunning idea about what emotions even are. You know that feeling of good or bad? It's not some vague, mystical thing. A good feeling, a positive emotion, is literally the feeling of your brain successfully reducing its prediction errors. It's the feeling of, I get it now. And a negative feeling? That's the exact opposite. It's the feeling of your prediction errors suddenly spiking. It's your brain screaming, whoa, my map is wrong, I need to update.
Now, we usually think about emotions in these really simple categories, right? You're happy, you're sad, you're angry, like they're neat little boxes.
But the reality is so much richer. It's this beautiful, complex landscape. Researchers have actually been able to map out what they call a semantic space of emotion, and they found at least 27 distinct but interconnected categories. So we're not just talking happy or sad, we're talking about nuanced, blended states like awe or nostalgia or that quiet feeling of contemplation. It's a whole high-dimensional world in there. Okay, hold on, because here is where we take the first really big leap. What if this whole prediction machine thing isn't just locked up inside your skull? What if it's running through your entire body? I mean, really think about this. What if aging and disease aren't just your body wearing out? What if they're actually software bugs, a corruption in the code that tells your body how to be a body? This brings us to this incredible idea called somatic intelligence. The thinking goes like this. Your genes, your DNA, that's the hardware. It's the raw material. But what's the software? What's the program that tells that hardware how to build a hand or how to heal a cut? Well, it seems to be a dynamic bioelectric field, a kind of software of life that runs through all our cells, guiding them. And if you look at it this way, the classic signs of aging suddenly look like, well, software failures. Check this out. Cancer? That cell's getting disconnected from the body's network, losing the signal that tells them what to do, so they just grow uncontrollably. Stem cells getting exhausted. That's signal corruption in the code for repair. This isn't just your body getting old, it's the information system breaking down. And all of this leads us to the biggest, most mind-bending idea of all. It forces us to completely rethink what you even are. Because in this model, you aren't a thing. You're not some little pilot sitting in your skull driving a meat robot. You are a prediction, a constantly updating story your brain is telling itself to make sense of everything. But wait, it gets deeper. Because that prediction, yourself, is happening inside another prediction. It's nested within the predictive systems of your cells, your organs, and even your gut microbiome, which is basically a second brain sending constant signals that shape how you feel. And the whole shebang, all of that, is nested inside the biggest prediction machine we know of, the biosphere of Earth itself. The planet is also a system working to, you guessed it, minimize surprise and keep itself stable. And this isn't just some nice poetry. There's a formal scientific term for this, a Markov blanket. It's basically a statistical boundary that separates a self from its environment. So you can think of life as a set of Russian nesting dolls, Markov blankets within Markov blankets from a single cell all the way out to the planet.
Okay, so what? If we're all just software running at different scales, what does that mean for us, for our lives? Well, it means something pretty amazing. It means we can debug the code.
And this isn't just for our biology. Think about deep psychological ideas, like Jung's concept of individuation, that process of becoming a whole person. In this new language, what is that? It's just Bayesian belief updating. It's running that predict error update loop on your deepest models of who you think you are. So how do you actually do that? How do you update your own self-model? Well, it's kind of like a two-step algorithm for personal growth. Step 1, you have to start paying attention to the error signals you've been ignoring. Those uncomfortable truths that don't fit with your story about yourself. You have to turn up the volume on those. And step 2, you have to relax your grip on the old, rigid beliefs that are blocking the new data. You have to let the ego chill out a bit so the update can actually happen. And this integrated view points to a wild future for healing. For the mind software, imagine using something like VR to create safe sandboxes where you can face down your fears and rewrite those old broken beliefs. And for the body's software, we're talking about a whole new class of drugs called morphoceuticals, designed not to treat symptoms, but to literally rewrite the corrupted bioelectric code and tell the body how to be healthy again. So at the end of the day, here's the big takeaway. You are not a static thing. You are a dynamic process. You are a constantly updating prediction. This whole idea doesn't just give us a new theory of who you are, it hands you the keys to the machine. It shows you the code. So the only real question left is, what will you predict next?